Everyone thinks they know the story of David and Goliath. But what if the way we all remember it as a complete miracle is totally wrong? What if it wasn't a miracle at all, but a masterclass in strategy? The secret to beating the giants in your life, whether that's a market leader, a career rival, or just a personal struggle that feels impossible, was actually written down 3,000 years ago. We're going to break down the unconventional tactics David used to turn his weaknesses into his greatest weapon and how you can do the exact same thing. So, picture this: the Valley of Elah. On one side, the Israelite army completely paralyzed with fear. On the other, the Philistines and their champion Goliath. Ancient texts say he was a towering figure, somewhere between 6'9" and 9.5 feet tall. He was a walking tank in bronze armor, carrying a spear so heavy most men couldn't even lift it. For 40 days he stood there and mocked them, and for 40 days nobody flinched. The whole army was defeated, not by a battle, but by the idea of an unbeatable giant. Then this young shepherd, David, who's literally just there to drop off lunch for his brothers, hears the challenge and decides he's had enough. The king offers David his own royal armor, but David refuses. He walks onto the battlefield with no armor, no shield, just his staff and a sling. To everyone watching, this wasn't a fight. It was a human sacrifice. But David knew something they didn't. David's victory wasn't a fluke. It was a series of brilliant strategic moves. First, he refused to play their game. When David turned down Saul's armor, he wasn't being humble. He was being smart. That heavy armor would have slowed him down, forcing him into a head-on brawl where Goliath had every advantage. David knew he couldn't win Goliath's game, so he changed the rules. Instead of strength versus strength, he made it about speed versus size. Second, he weaponized his unique skills. We think of a sling as a kid's toy. You can bet Goliath thought so too. But in ancient warfare, a skilled slinger was a lethal sniper. Historical accounts describe sling projectiles hitting with enough force to kill a horse. David had spent years fending off lions and bears with that very weapon. It wasn't a toy. It was a precision instrument he had mastered. He ignored the sword he didn't know and chose the weapon he did. Third, he seized the psychological high ground. Before he even launched the stone, David launched his first attack. He looked at this mountain of a man and shouted, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." This wasn't just trash talk. He was reframing the entire battle, making it a contest between Goliath's earthly power and divine authority. He got inside his opponent's head while cementing his own confidence. These three tactics change the rules. Use your unique skills and control the narrative are the heart of the underdog playbook. If you're finding this useful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more strategies to conquer the giants in your own life. So how does a 3,000-year-old blueprint apply to you? David's agility? That's you as a startup or an individual. Pivoting faster than some massive corporation weighed down by its own bureaucracy. His refusal of the armor is you rejecting an industry's best practices to find a leaner, smarter way. David's sling? That's your secret weapon, the niche skill that the giant has completely overlooked. And his psychological warfare? That's your story. That's the mission that connects with people on a human level, creating a loyalty that no marketing budget can buy. People don't just root for products, they root for people. But there's an even deeper lesson here. The stone struck Goliath on the forehead. Symbolically, some see the forehead as the seat of the imagination. The idea is that the real giants we face aren't always external. So often they are the mental giants we build in our own minds. Fear, self-doubt, and the nagging belief that we're not good enough. David's first and most important victory wasn't over Goliath. It was over the fear that had frozen an entire